Welcome to the very first episode of Angry Bitter Woman, the podcast where we dive deep into the raw and unfiltered emotions that society often tells us to keep hidden. I'm Gretchen, and I'm here to share my stories, my rants, and maybe even some wisdom along the way. This is a space where it's okay to feel angry, even bitter, and to feel everything in between. So let's get started.
5, 4, we have ignition. All engines are running. We have liftoff. We have liftoff at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm a native Texan who's spent years witnessing the entrenched misogyny of the good old boy system in this state. It's everywhere, deeply rooted in the worst kind of hypocrisy and power dynamics. Today, we're focusing on one particular case that has stirred up a lot of emotions and controversy: Robert Morris and the Gateway Church scandal. Robert Morris is a founding pastor of Gateway Church, a megachurch based in Texas with a congregation of over 100,000 people. On the surface, Morris presents himself as a charismatic leader committed to his ministry, but beneath his facade lies a web of dishonesty and exploitation. One particularly damning article, Robert Morris Scandal, James Robison refutes claims he met with the victim's family. She knew she was 12, from the Christian Post, has brought to light a series of disturbing allegations. And I feel like the best way to share this with you is to read directly from the source. Again, this is from the Christian Post. I've skipped through to the second paragraph. Robison, with his wife Betty by his side, addressed the allegations in a video posted on X late Friday. He vehemently denied any prior knowledge of the meetings between Morris and the victim's family, or of the victim's age during the abuse in the 1980s. Morris, who resigned Tuesday from his megachurch, attracting around 100,000 worshipers weekly across its campuses, has admitted to inappropriate sexual behavior with a young lady over 35 years ago. Morris's confession followed allegations that he sexually abused Cindy Clemshire over multiple years, starting when she was just 12. People have been asking questions about my relationship with Robert. Some people are claiming that I was present when Robert met with the victim's family in 1987, and I knew the girl's age when these incidents took place. This is false. It is, in fact, a lie, said Robison, the president of Life Outreach International. The televangelist said that the victim corrected the record after the initial news report. Robison stated he possesses a statement from the victim's attorney affirming that he was not present at any meetings Morris had with the victim's family. He also mentioned that he only learned about the victim's age after news reports emerged last week. I was stunned, he said. I was aware that Robert had had moral failures in his past, but I had no idea it was a crime involving a child. This is totally unacceptable. The way Robert handled it was absolutely incorrect. It was wrong. Abuse of a child should not be tolerated. I would do anything to appeal to Cindy and her family. Betty and I are praying for everyone who's been hurt by this terrible event. I feel like his spirit just kind of started. In his 2011 book, Morris recalled how he began to travel with James Robison within a year of becoming a Christian. Morris said he eventually earned the title of Associate Evangelist at age 20. That's significant because he actually said he didn't get back into the ministry for 2 years after this girl came out with the allegations. So that, in fact, shows he lied. Morris added that he got a job with Robison's prayer center about a month after he stepped away from ministry in the 1980s because Lord orchestrated the circumstances for me to step out of ministry. He didn't disclose the circumstances leading to the temporary departure from ministry, but admitted that he struggled with pride. Not pedophilia, pride. After a month of working nights as a security guard at Motel 6, I felt I had made great strides toward humility. I decided that perhaps I was ready to return to ministry, he wrote. So I checked back with James Robison's ministry to see if they had any job openings. I was happy to discover they needed a morning supervisor at the prayer center from 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. Clementshire first alleged to the Wartburg Watch that Morris began sexually abusing her on December 25th, 1982, and continued for a 4.5-year relationship. She confirmed these details with the Christian Post. She stressed the severity of the abuse, which included inappropriate touching and penetration. In a statement to CP before his resignation, Morris confessed to being involved in inappropriate sexual behavior with a young lady in a home where I was staying, which continued over years, saying it only involved kissing and petting and not intercourse. He admitted he was in the wrong. He claimed the situation had been brought to light in 1987 and that he repented and stepped away from ministry roles to undergo counseling, alleging he had returned to ministry in 1989. Clementshire pushed back on Morris' description of the event, saying she was only 12 when it started, that he touched every part of her body and even digitally penetrated her. She also denied that her father gave the blessing for Morris to return to ministry. The Wartburg Watch had previously reported that Robison accompanied Morris and his wife to Oklahoma to speak with Clemenshire's father. The outlet corrected its reporting to clarify that Robison didn't join the couple on that trip, nor participated in any meeting Morris had with Clemshire or her family. Clemshire said she retained an attorney in 2005 to file a civil lawsuit, but Morris's attorney suggested she caused the abuse on herself because she was flirtatious, quote unquote. She said she asked for $50,000 to cover the cost of her counseling stemming from the abuse. She said they offered her $25,000 if she signed a non-disclosure agreement, but she refused. On Friday, the Gateway Church Board of Elders sent a letter to members addressing the situation. The church reiterated its claim that it was not aware of Clemenshire's age when the alleged abuse occurred and pledged full cooperation as it hired a law firm to investigate Morris's behavior between 1982 to 1987. Conveniently hired their law firm. I wonder what they'll find. Regrettably, prior to Friday, June 14th, the current elders did not have all the facts. The letter reads, "The Board of Elders is deeply committed to walking in integrity and finding the truth. Having this inquiry done by an independent and unbiased outside law firm is best practice." Oh, outside law firm, my ass. In a statement released Tuesday night by her lawyer, Clementshire claimed that she informed Gateway leadership of the allegations in an email she sent in 2005 directly to Morris's email address. She stated that former Gateway elder Tom Lane responded to the email. Richard Harmer, a spokesperson for Lane, told the Dallas Morning News that Lane did respond to one of Clemenshire's emails, but was only forwarded a specific message by Morris's assistant that didn't include a reference to her age. Harmer stated that Lane had never seen any other emails. On social media Friday, Lane posted a statement saying he was unaware of the severity and specifics of the allegations and was led to believe it involved consensual infidelity with a young lady. It was Lane's understanding at the time that Morris underwent a 2-year restoration period overseen by the elders of Shady Grove Church in Grand Prairie. When Clemshire came forward in 2005, Lane believed that the necessary restoration actions had already taken place and the situation was appropriately resolved. Given the facts that has now emerged, it is evident that more could have been done to support and protect Cindy, and for that, I am deeply sorry, Lane said. So that is one typical theme you'll see through this story. If you keep researching it, keep looking at people's accounts of what happens, and they defend his actions, but then they apologize. Every single one of these people, they defend what happened, they defend themselves, and then they apologize. I don't know if they all came up with that together or one followed suit. My takeaways from that article: first of all, dishonesty and exploitation. The article reveals Morris's dishonesty, showing that his heart was never truly in the right place for ministry. Despite this, he managed to con a congregation of 100,000 people, building an empire on deceit. And then there's Cindy's story. In 2005, Cindy, she would have been 35, filed a civil lawsuit against Morris. She was bullied by Morris and his associates, threatened with retribution if she didn't drop the case. They offered her $25,000 to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Why would a truly humble, changed, and saved person pressure a victim into silence? The pedo ring and misogyny, third and final point or takeaway from that article. Church administrators and elders claimed ignorance about the nature of the allegations, particularly the age of the young lady involved. This is indicative of the deeply rooted misogyny and the good old boys system that is prevalent in Texas. It's everywhere, protecting the powerful and silencing the vulnerable. So yesterday, I joined a protest outside Gateway Church. It was an eye-opening experience that further solidified my views on this scandal. The church members who joined us were the definition of cult followers, reminiscent of the FLDS, even with their pastel dresses and submissive behavior. None of them yelled anything. They didn't know what to make of me, a loudmouth with a "protect your kids from pastors" sign, wearing a pride hat and a Highway to Hell t-shirt, yelling, "Did you give your 10% to pedos? Pedo?" They told me I should be more respectful, that I would catch more flies with honey. 2 questions I kindly kept to myself were, why would I show respect to people going back to a church they know has been run by a pedophile? The bigger picture. This scandal isn't just about one man or one church. It's about a system that allows such behavior to go unchecked. It's about the power dynamics that protect predators and silence victims. It's about the misogyny that is so deeply ingrained in our culture that we often don't see it until it's too late. The church's reaction, the members' blind loyalty, and the broader community's silence all point to a systematic problem. It's a culture of complicity where the powerful are protected and the vulnerable are silenced. I mean, my podcast hints, angry, bitter woman. How do we not become angry about this stuff? How do we not? By ignoring it. And if we ignore it, it's easy to do. It makes life better. But if we ignore it, it's going to continue. So here's my rant for the week. So it's time for my first rant of the week. Why do we allow these so-called leaders to manipulate and exploit their congregations? They preach morality while engaging in the most immoral behaviors imaginable, facing little to no consequences. This is a systemic problem, not just an isolated incident. We need to hold these leaders accountable. We need transparency and oversight in religious institutions. The problem is, this particular institution, Gateway Church, is literally worth at least $1 billion. The pastor is worth, ex-pastor, $110 million. $110 million is how much Robert Morris is worth. And he made all that money after doing this to this little girl. We need to support the victims and believe their stories, and we need to dismantle the good old boy system that protects these predators. So what can we do about it? Here are a few ideas for turning our anger into action. First, demand transparency. And that looks like churches and other religious organizations must be transparent about their finances. Members should have access to financial statements and understand where their donations are going. We need to establish accountability mechanisms. There should be independent bodies that oversee church leadership and hold them accountable for their actions. This includes investigating allegations of misconduct and ensuring appropriate consequences are applied. We also need to support the victims. We need to believe and support those who come forward with allegations of misconduct. Providing them with the resources and support they need is crucial. We need to educate and advocate. Educate others about the signs of indoctrinating tactics and abuse of power in religious institutions. Advocacy for stronger laws and regulations governing religious organizations can also make a difference. And all churches should require mandatory reporting, as I have been legally held to since I'm a teacher. These steps might not solve everything overnight, but they are a start. We must work together to create safer, more accountable religious institutions, if they have to exist. For future episodes, I want to hear from you. Send me your stories, your questions, and your own rants. This is a space for all of us. You can reach me at namasteyall.org. That's my blog and website. Also, you can find me at LotusLady91 on TikTok. And my email is namasteyall2023@gmail.com. Thank you for joining me on this first episode of Angry Bitter Woman. Remember, your feelings are valid, and it's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be not okay for a while. It's okay to be you. Until next time, take care of yourself, and don't let anyone silence your rage. And that's a wrap. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave a review. It helps more people find the show. See you next time on Angry Bitter Woman. Are we angry and bitter, or just opinionated?